With the launch of the new Ryzen 5000 chips at the end of 2020, let's take a look at the cheap Waterblock for custom water cooling. Will it be able to cool a Ryzen 5600X for less than $30? Let's find out. So when browsing AliExpress, I found this Bykski Waterblock for AM4, AM3 and AM3 Plus sockets. It comes in two different variants, a 3-pin 5V addressable RGB version and a regular 4-pin 12V RGB version. Both come in at around the same price of $30. It's compatible with a number of different RGB software configurations like Asus Aura Sync, RGB Fusion, RGB Mystic Light and ASRock RGB LED. As for materials, the block itself is made of copper with nickel plating and has an acrylic top. So when we have a look at the box, inside we find a small manual written in Chinese, which we won't be using as it is quite self-explanatory, a tube of thermal paste, some mounting hardware, a 3-pin RGB adapter as this is the 5V RGB model, a spatula for spreading the thermal paste, a motherboard backplate and lastly the block itself. Overall the packaging itself is really solid. The installation is pretty straightforward. For installing a Ryzen 5000 CPU which uses the AM4 socket, you use the backplate that comes with the motherboard. If you have an AM3 socket motherboard, use the included backplate. After you have installed your CPU, screw in the 4 standoffs as shown here. Add some thermal paste and place the water block on top. The orientation of the water block itself doesn't really matter, but keep in mind that there is a difference between the in and outlet on the water block. It's marked as you can see here. Oh, and also don't forget to peel off the plastic cover like I almost did. With the water block in place, put a spring on each standoff and put the screwed caps on top of it. As with installing all water blocks, work in a diagonal pattern, so gradually tighten the water block an equal amount until it's finger tight. Don't use any tools as you could over tighten it and your system will not boot or even damage it. The screws itself were a bit challenging to tighten, but nothing that couldn't be handled with some patience. So now that it's installed, we can take a look at the temperatures. In a full custom loop, where both the CPU and GPU are water cooled with a 360mm radiator, we see an idle temperature of 38 degrees. After letting Cinebench R20 run in a loop, we can see a max temperature of 57 degrees. For an ambient temperature of 24 degrees, this is actually quite impressive. And lastly, RGB wise, we didn't encounter any problems. I just plugged in the 3-pin RGB header and the block itself integrated very well with the Asus Aura Sync software as you can see here. So, conclusion time. This water block has now been installed for around 2 months in my system and I'm actually very happy with it. It looks good, the temperatures are very solid and for the price you can't go wrong. By now the manufacturer Bykski is a well-known Chinese brand for water cooling parts and they make some impressive components. So if you are in the market for a water block and want something that is both affordable and offers excellent quality, then I would highly recommend this water block. So that's it. Everything is linked in the description. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. In one of my upcoming videos I will show you how you can water cool any GPU on a budget, so stay tuned for that and I'll see you there.